What's happening, folks? Back with another reaction, back with more of True August's album Breathing Room 2023. Thank you again to Sofia, and it actually was just Augie's birthday a few days ago, so shout out to and happy birthday to Augie himself. And the next tune is Russian Doll of Hearts, which certainly gives me a fantasy royalty type of image, which is to say, I think of playing cards because of hearts. It speaks to a suit and thus like a color and a shape. But also Russian doll makes me think of those nesting dolls. I forget the name of them in Russian, but I'm sure many of you know what I'm talking about, where you take off the top of one and there's a smaller one, you take off that top, and so on and so forth, down to a very small doll in the middle of it, which in turn makes me think of Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, but that's a separate matter. But yeah, Russian Doll of Hearts, it presents an image related to artifacts and, cultural motifs, but I don't quite know what to do with it here, other than to say maybe combining those two ideas, a heart and the idea of peeling away layers to get to the true heart of your feeling or your emotions or who you really are, beneath the exteriors and, multiple layers of either defenses or the presentation you bring to others in a social setting. So yeah, that's a real stab in the dark, and I don't expect it to be particularly accurate. So let's just see what it is in practice. This is True August. The track is Russian Doll of Hearts, and it's from his 2023 album Breathing Room.
Just another day at home, spending time on your phone. You play it safe every day, so go out and make it your own. Just another day at home, spending time on your phone. You play it safe every day, so go out and make it your own. Just where you go, you can't be cooped up alone, so go out and make it your own. The time you saw fly by, the cloud banks in the sky. You play it safe every day, so there's no time to wait.
another one I like a lot. I'm really loving this album. Lyrically, I don't really know what's happening here, and I don't think it's that concept I said. It seems like he's talking about another person, saying they play it safe, saying they're on their phone. I think the normative phrase is stop pulling apart, but there's other, like, vignettes, like, we stopped in a park, and so I have some, like, visual references here, but, my Russian doll of hearts, I think he's saying that about the other person. But yeah, I really don't quite know what's happening. But if he's saying stop pulling up apart, if that really is the phrase, then and playing it safe every day, that sounds like someone who's a bit guarded, who is a bit careful in their actions or involvement, and thus, like, maybe he's saying, like, you need to open up, you need to, like, get to that core and to really show what you feel and not, be so hesitant or not be so guarded with me, maybe. But yeah, I'm really not overly confident in what I heard. Even though I heard a lot of the words, I do enjoy his singing. Again, it's a bit echoed, has a bit of an effect on it, but it wasn't, like, super, like, distorted in that way. Sonically, though, is what I really love about this tune. And it's, like, interesting, because, like, overall, I would say the vibe is, like, warm and inviting, a bit dreamy, perhaps. But there's also, like, a lot of things going on. It has some energy and drive in parts, but it also has some, like, sounds that almost sounded like birds or, like, being out in a park. There was some, like, nature type sounds, but maybe with some, like, electronic filter or, like, echo over them. There's a feeling of kind of, again, being up in the air, up in the clouds of your head, but also there's, like, a very natural feel to it. So it has that, like, normal instrument mixed with a bit of electronic production. It has those little keyboard runs, a couple of which felt like very free and flowing, almost like cantabile a little bit. So yeah, I enjoy the guitar in the track. It felt very, like, smooth and energetic. There's, like, a nice little bass rhythm too, so all the parts were very sonorous or very inviting. And then the way they came together, it was sort of dynamic and multifaceted. So yeah, sonically, I absolutely love this one. Vocally good. Lyrically, I liked what I heard, but I just don't know how it stitches all together. So I'm looking forward to hearing people comment. But I really am enjoying this album, and I feel like these are, worthy continuations of the Walktar Wednesday series, which is to say, I'm not surprised. Again, you come from parents who are as musical as Paul and Lauren. It's not terribly surprising that there's an aptitude, but of course there's no guarantee, and it really seems like he has a creative sense without necessarily, sounding like, oh, he's just Paul part 2. I don't think that's it. I think there's, elements where you can say, okay, I get where you come from, but you're clearly doing your own thing too. So I'm enjoying it. I hope you are too. Do let me know what you think, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.